Tim Sheehy, again, he had this whole event with us, and then he went on to debate Jon Tester afterwards. Let me just give you a little taste of that debate happening between Senator Tester and Tim Sheehy, who I hope is the next U.S. Senator from Montana. And the whole balance of power hinges on this race. Play cut 36.
Mr. Sheehy?
Well, Senator Tester knows all about backroom meetings. He's been taking them for 20 years as the number one recipient of lobbyist cash.
Most transparent
the number one recipient of lobbyist cash in the whole country. Of all candidates, number one. So if you want to talk about backroom meetings, while I was fighting in Afghanistan, he was eating lobbyist steak in D.C.
Now, just as a little bit of feedback, Montana, why did you guys have to have the camera quality looking like that's from 1997? Do you see that? As if it's like public access television from C-SPAN, as if it's like the Bush v. Gore debate. Can you get just the screen grab from that debate on screen? It's like you guys can up the production quality a little bit here. So I want to play this. This is cut 57. Jon Tester, the U.S. Senator from, look at that. Doesn't that look like kind of like Bush v. Gore in 1997? Just whoa! It's just the whole aesthetic. They gotta update it a little bit. So this is Jon Tester here, who argues that abortion through all 9 months is fundamental to being a Montanan. I hope you guys hear this. This is one of the most radical U.S. senators running in Montana. The ability to murder a 9-month-old baby. We can all disagree on certain abortion topics. Blake and I are very pro-life, fine. But this is infanticide to say that a 9-month-old should be able to be terminated. There is no disagreement on this. Let's play cut 57.
And this is fundamental to who we are as Montanans. In my entire lifetime, I've never seen a freedom stripped away like the Supreme Court did with the Dobbs decision removing Roe. We need to have Roe reinstated.
Jon Tester did indeed rank number one in cash from lobbyists, according to an AP fact check. Republicans are saying that Jon Tester has taken more money from lobbyists than any other member of Congress this election cycle as he seeks to fend off a challenge from Republican State Auditor Matt Rosendale. That was actually back from 2018. It is true, Jon Tester has received more from lobbyists. And Blake, this makes sense. So he represents Montana, allegedly, but he's a perfect vessel for all of these different lobbyists to park money into.
A perfect vessel for lobbyists, and also just he's like the last stand of this long-running Democrat scam. I mean, I grew up in South Dakota. We had Tom Daschle running this scam 20 years ago.
What is the scam? Tell us about it.
The scam is this whole, like, I am a moderate Dem who, like, I am easily distinguished from the rest of the members of my party. And, okay, maybe Joe Manchin gets away with this because Joe Manchin is actively blocking a lot of things Democrats want to do. But is Jon Tester going to cause a single illegal immigrant to be deported or not able to cross the border? No. Is Jon Tester going to do anything to preserve the filibuster? No. Is Jon Tester going to be the man standing in the gap from any of the things that make a far-left Biden-Harris administration far-left? No. Like, the blunt truth is both parties in the U.S. have they've become more ideologically coherent than they once were. It used to be there was a lot more variation within the parties. There was a lot of cross-the-aisle coalitions that would get formed. And that's just how it was back in the day. But we are less like that. The parties are more unified. They are more ideologically coherent. And that means that Democrats, even if they're from red states, are really liberal.
Yeah, this is well said. There is this blue dog Democrat, red state Democrat scam. And he's like the last stand of that. It was like Heidi Heidkamp, Claire McCaskill, remember?
And even those guys, it was like, they weren't really. I mean, Claire McCaskill basically made this like Me Too feminism stuff her number one issue. The ones that actually exist, I mean, there used to be serious pro-life Democrats. Those guys got purged from their own party. I think they got rid of the last one in the Chicago area. I'm forgetting his name, but there was... Who again? There was one sincerely pro-life Democrat House rep.
Oh, yeah, it was Dan Lipinski.
Yes. And I think he's gone now. And
he's long gone. Dan Lipinski, good man.
And so, what do you have left? Like, there was, the guy we were trying to work with in Nebraska. And, as you said.
He left?
Yeah, he left over that. And, he didn't fully do everything we wanted. But as we've mentioned, it wasn't all him. And so, yeah, it's just they run this scam of I'm a moderate. I'm basically just a Republican, actually. And no, that's just not true.
Yeah, and that's well said, Blake, is that as the parties have become more ideologically coherent, Tim Sheehy is then a rubber stamp for the Democrat Party. And the people of Montana must understand that.
Jon Tester.
I'm sorry, yes. Jon Tester, I'm sorry. I was reading something else. Jon Tester is a stamp for the Democrat Party. Tim Sheehy's the solution, sorry. So Jon Tester being the rubber stamp for the Democrat Party, understand the values of the Democrat Party then are what's actually on the ballot. Which value system you want.